So you're applying to a new program, and there traditionally there's going to be two types of program options. One might be some sort of program that includes a co-op component, so where students have to do X amount of jobs in between their academic course-related semesters. Or do you want to just go to straight course route and not have to do, as part of your degree requirement, to do any co-op positions? So which one is best? In general, I think, especially at the undergrad level, it is good to go for a program that has a co-op component. And it's because in general, of course, there's going to be there's going to be students who are self-motivated, who will seek out those internships and extracurriculars experiences to pad their resumes. But the majority of students really, when they go from high school to university or college, they're still in that high school mentality where school is about learning, it's about courses, and they need to do well in terms of their courses and get high grades. But in university and college, that really shifts from, of course, you need to do well in academics, but you also need to do well in extracurriculars and have extracurriculars. And there is an expectation from employers when they hire new students that they need to have some sort of experience and some sort of padded resume. And co-op is a great way to make sure students seek out those internships. In general, it's very easy for university and college students to kind of fall through the cracks and not pursue any extracurriculars during their 3 or 4 year program duration, because there's no kind of accountability mechanism to track whether these students are doing extracurriculars. There's no one telling them to pursue these things. So it's very easy for a student to go through 3 or 4 years without any experiences, without even having a part-time job, without even having any projects to put on their resume. And co-op is a good thing for that because it is part of your degree requirements. It is mandatory for you to graduate. So for sure, if you're going into a co-op program, that you will have those experiences on your resume, whether or not you think those positions are good. Because in the end, if it's about whether or not having a resume without any experiences versus having a resume with some experiences, having some sort of experience on your resume is going to be a much better option for most students, and it would definitely put you at an upper range in the applicant pool when you apply to a job in 3 or 4 years time. So my perspective is that if you're kind of debating between two very similar programs, one is a co-op stream and one isn't, I would always recommend the co-op stream. And of course, this is for the general student population. If you are someone that's very self-motivated, you have been pursuing internships since your high school, for example, and for sure there's going to be no barriers in accessing those internships or finding a job in the end, then you can maybe decide that co-op isn't the right fit for you. But in general, I do think co-op is a good fit for most students. And again, being able to find a job really depends on your networks. And what's good about a co-op program is the university uses its self-brand to network for students. It will attract companies and employers to come into a particular program to kind of hunt those particular students, for example. So you're kind of being in a co-op program also kind of enables you to have a larger network without having yourself to network, especially if you're a more introverted person, or you might be the first person in your family to go to university or college and you don't have access to those networks where some more privileged students might have. These are great examples for also why you might want to pursue a co-op experience. But in general, university and college really puts an emphasis on academics and extracurriculars or experiences, and being in a co-op program enables you to do both, and it also forces you, since it's mandatory, and that you won't be kind of falling through the cracks. So if you're a very self-motivated student, and how would you know is, look at your high school extracurriculars. If you've already been doing internships at, the big 4 firms, etc., then co-op, is really up to you. But if you're the type of student to, only do the bare minimum, volunteering hours in high school, or you might not have familial networks in terms of getting a job post-grad, then think about co-op. In general, I think co-op is a great experience for all students because it does force you to have those job experiences that employers are looking for when you are considering a new grad and finding a job.